Oh, hello. I'm here with Rob Steven, and Rob is basically a trader, a coffee trader, and he's working in a very interesting area of the coffee business, and I'd love for you to hear what he has to say, and we're going to have a very interesting interview. And Rob, I'd love it if you could say something about your job as a trader. Can you explain for the audience what a coffee trader does? What do you do? How do you travel the world? What kind of things do you do in your lab? Because you do a lot of lab projects. That sounds very interesting to me, and I'm sure the audience wants to know, the bottom line is how to make more money with coffee if it's a business-to-business audience. And if it's a business-to-consumer audience, it's basically how do I choose the best one of the coffees that I have in my city or in my country. So what's your job like?
Okay. Well, I think when most people can think about the word trader, they think of somebody sitting in Wall Street or in a fancy office and buying low and selling high of whatever it is that they may have their hands on. But I work exclusively in coffee and exclusively in specialty coffee. You can buy and sell coffee just as a thing, but we are in the business of finding coffees that are special and matching those coffees with buyers who are looking for that certain kind of special. So part of my job is to get to know coffee roasters who are my customers, understand their needs, which are very specific and varying from business to business, and then go out into the world of coffee and find those coffees usually from small product producers or from exporters who have connections with those producers, and then I have to be able to evaluate them, have the skills to be able to recognize the attributes of the coffee and record those and be able to match those with my clients. So there is a business aspect to it. I certainly want to sell it for more than I paid for it, but most of it's being more of a matchmaker with coffee.
A lot of the producers and the farmers in Mexico want to know how to get better prices for their coffee. I guess that's the number one question you get everywhere you go. What advice could you give to those farmers, producers, roasters?
Well, I have never met a coffee farmer who doesn't think they have the best coffee in the world, but the vast majority of them have never tasted it, or they've never tasted it the way that their buyer would taste it. So I would challenge the producers to reconsider the assumption that they have the best coffee in the world just because of the way it looks, and consider that people aren't buying coffee on the way that it looks. Maybe their first buyer is the exporter, but the end user is not buying it on the way it looks, but on the way it tastes. And so creating a way in your business that you are implementing changes to affect taste, to understand what buyers want and be able to make changes to your business so that you can produce coffee that best meets that. That's going to get you the most value, and you have to be able to recognize it when you have it. You can't rely on somebody else to tell you that you don't have it or that you do. So that knowledge is true power and brings you value in the marketplace.
You do a lot of work in the area of quality in all sorts of specialty coffee areas. People ask, how do you get a Q grader certification? Where do you get it? Some tips for getting the certification. Could you do a brief description of this?
Sure. Well, the first thing I would say is if you want to become a lawyer, you don't show up and take the bar exam. You have to go to law school. And if you want to become a Q grader, which is really a diploma and a license that says that you're a professional evaluator of coffee, then you should be one of those, which means that you should have a job or spend a lot of time